If you want a roadmap as to how I personally generate passive income, I'm going to share with you all that information today. I'm probably going to have to make multiple videos about this in the future, but I'll give you guys the synopsis about it today. A lot of you see my YouTube channel, Autopilot Passive Income, and you see a lot of different videos around print on demand. One of the things that generates a lot of revenue for me through print on demand is blogs, just like the one I'm about to show you in about a minute. I create various different blogs. I have various different websites that I own, and these blogs are basically websites that have articles of written content on them. I don't write all the articles myself. AI takes a lot of the weight off of my shoulders, and I've expanded over the years to having over 60 plus different sites. Out of those 60, somewhere in the 50s range, the high 50s, mid 50s, is the amount of websites that actually generate me some sort of revenue every day. And some sites generate me a lot of income, and some sites don't generate that much. But it's I guess you could say a wave. Sometimes hills and, mountains and valleys, I guess you could say, of income. So some days websites generate a lot of income, but like I said, some days, websites generate not that much. But it's great to have various websites that you work on. Let's say you commit a period of time for a few months to, and then you kind of sit back, work on some other projects, and let those businesses generate income for you. And that's kind of how passive income for me is kind of multiplied in my business. Now, for me, print on demand, and I've said this before, is just one of the side businesses that I do. I have a blog here that I created. It's relatively new. It's called thebusinessbooksummary.org, and I have different business book summaries of when I attempted to read 16 business books in 16 days, and I decided to create a blog around it. Now, mind you, these aren't going to be the only blog post that exists, but since the website is in what you call a phase one, it's pretty good to kind of show here in a video as a start. The blog is not big. The website is not big. It's got 17 total posts, and it is hosted on WordPress. So for those who don't know, WordPress is pretty much the most used site or platform that you can host a website on. Now keep in mind, WordPress.org and WordPress.com are not the same thing. You have WordPress as in the software that you attach to a hosting service, which hosting services are nothing more than just simply servers that run WordPress for you and allow you to interact with the content you want to provide. So for example, if I click on Business Book Summary here, this is my back-end dashboard that I get access to. This is my AI writing tool. This is my blog here, or my pages, Here is my blog section, and I can work on every single blog post. And these blog posts, like I said, this backend is called a CMS, right? It's a content management system. Now, WordPress is not the only platform that I use. In fact, I don't use it that much compared to all my other sites. I have, like I said, over 60-something websites, and about 80% of them, 85%, I would say, are with a platform called Rocket Web Builder that I have. And Rocket Web Builder is a phenomenal website. I'll just kind of show it to you here that I have, and it was made for hosting websites, but just kind of a more inclusive software tool that's much easier to use than WordPress, much more streamlined. It has different templates. You don't have to pay for any plugins or softwares or anything like that. But like I said, let's keep today the focus on passive income. How do I actually generate money from these sites? So you know that I have a collection of these websites. You know that I work on some sites, and then I kind of step off the gas and I work on other sites, and those sites generate income for me over time. The first thing is I have to assess how these actually make money. So I'll kind of explain it to you here. Basically, what I do is I create a blog, right? And blogs have many different ways that they're monetized. Sometimes they could be monetized through AdSense. Sometimes they could be monetized through ad spaces. Sometimes they could be monetized through rentals. So, for example, if somebody wants to rent a page on my website, if somebody wants to pay for a link on my website, if somebody wants to pay for a deal, an affiliate deal of some sort, that they want me to join in on, if they see my traffic and they want to send a certain message to my audience, they could pay for that. Products that I sell, I make money from that as well. Different affiliate offers I could make money off of, different collaborations. And I'll give you an example. So I have a blog all about self-development. It's actually pretty developed, and there's a really big YouTuber. His name is Stephen James. On one of my blogs, he wanted a shout out on that blog, and so I charged $850 for a single day of ad space. He paid for it, the service was done, and it was taken care of. That's a perfect example of how I make money on different blogs. And to bring print on demand into this, because I know some of you guys do watch my print on demand videos, which is nothing more than literally uploading graphics to various marketplaces and websites, doing some marketing and generating sales. It's not that hard to create sales. So how it works is I'll create a blog with various different topics and various different articles that are all in a specific niche, just like the ones you see here on my site, businessbooksummary.org, right? After that, what happens is Google will start ranking me for certain article topics. So very similar to how like merch by Amazon would work or Redbubble would work. When you create a listing, you get ranked in the search. Well, it's really no different. When I create a blog post, depending on how good the blog post is, I get to rank on Google. Now, there's a little bit more than just that, but I get to rank on Google. People then search for my article, right? And they're not necessarily searching for my article, but they're searching for a specific topic that relates to my article. And mind you, I'm doing the research beforehand to figure out what people are actually searching for and what I could compete in, because it doesn't make sense for me to compete with websites 10 times, 20 size larger than mine. I want to go for things that are a little bit smaller, but people essentially search and they come across my articles, which essentially is taking them to my website. As soon as they're on my website, then they're interacting with the different ways that help me earn income. So like I said, it could be ads, it could be an affiliate deal, it could be ad space, whatever the case may be, somehow, some way I'm going to make money. Now, in reference to making money, how do I actually make it happen? Well, I'll show you some examples that I have actually on one of my blogs. So I have a YouTube channel that I teach people how to create blogs and how to create websites. And it's called cashcownichesites.com. And if you look here, if I click on blog, I have blog posts that I create where I teach people about my success journey. Now, granted, I don't have that many blog posts, but I really started to get into it. And you could see here, on the 21st of last month is really when I started talking about this a little bit deeper. And I just published another post relatively recently, like a week ago or something like that I've been working on. And mind you, when I publish a blog post, I'm adding to it pretty consistently, at least in the beginning when I get all my thoughts out. So I might work on a blog post for 2, 3, 4 days and use the power of AI to help me write it. So this website right here, Cash Cow Niche Sites, is hosted on rocketwebbuilder.com. It is not a WordPress site. But if you click on one of these articles, you can start to get an idea of how kind of my success looks like. So you can see a video here that I posted about my success story around, blogging and things like that. And in the thumbnail, there's a picture here of my AdSense earnings on Q4. And here's the exact same photo. This was during Q4. This is a little feature I have to remove, but basically it's just overshadowing on some of the content. But here is a section of how much I make through an affiliate section, and this was a pretty high experience that I had during the affiliate day. But that's one of the examples. And I have a website. I've talked about this before. My most highly profitable website is a website where I compare and contrast treadmills. I've spoken about this before, so I make money all through affiliate from that website. I really don't take any ad space or anything like that on there. It's literally just affiliate income, and it covers a lot because the products are very high ticket and they cost a lot of money. Sometimes a treadmill can cost all the way up to $5,000 a piece, and the average cost for a treadmill at the ones I'm selling are about $2,500 to $2,200. So A commission on that is pretty healthy. Sometimes they could be a third, sometimes they could be 25%, sometimes they could be up to 45%. Just depends on the company. But the commissions are very, very nice on that website. But they're just simple examples. Some e-commerce stuff, some print-on-demand stuff, some print-on-demand sales. And I'm a big believer in diversifying the income. So if one day you're doing really good on affiliate stuff, you're probably not going to do well on other stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that, when one day things aren't going well, at least you have one thing that could go well. And that's why I say diversify, diversify, diversify. If you make money off AdSense, if you make money on, having rental space on your website and selling products, have a mix of different ad revenues so that you can not fully depend on one. But anyways, so if you want to read more about, like I said, my journey and everything like that, you can come to my website, cashcownichesites.com, and read through these kind of article posts. But I created here like a roadmap kind of to achieving success with blogging. And it all starts off with picking that right niche, right? Picking that right category, committing to it, and being fully dedicated to the success of your website. And like I said, it's not a race. This is not something that you're going to be racing to complete. This is something that you want to build slowly with time. It just depends on every single person's lifestyle and the jobs and the lifestyle that they have and the time they have available. But, when I'm working on a website or working on a certain, affiliate deal or something like that, I'm not trying to race to the end zone, right? I'm not trying to get to that finish line. I'm trying to make it as good as possible. So you guys have heard me say I might sit on a blog for a week or two, just trying to improve it. I'll keep it published, but I'll keep it up there for a week or two, just constantly working on it. Editing stuff, adding stuff to it. And there's no shame in that. I think a lot of people think that they always have to crank out websites or, text. Like you could see here, I just, there's a section that I have here that's a dummy text. So I have to go in and remove this or add something to it. There's mistakes that I have. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how, my websites are built over time, and it doesn't really hurt me. I'm building my content through time. And like I said, I pick very well on the type of niches that I choose. And I know how to pick profitable niches and profitable categories because there's certain things that don't make sense to talk about. So, for example, like if I have a blog on like how to replace mufflers, for example, that's probably not a good idea to have a blog on because people want to see a visual aspect of that, right? It's not something really that they would read about. They would see it, and it needs to be taught through visual aspects, not through content. So there's definitely different topics, like dating is a good topic to talk about. Personally, I don't have any blogs in dating, but that's an example. Comparing and contrasting certain products, you can have blogs. Blogs are great for that because you can add content in there, video content, photo content. Sorry about that. But you can add a lot there. Hold on. Let me go ahead and pause this because I think I'm going to have to cough more for a second. Sorry about that, guys. I had a little tickle in my throat there. But, there's a lot of different topics that you can use for blogging. And if you ever need help, like picking a topic, like I said, go to my site, cashcownichesites.com. And you'll see here a section where on the front page it says The Art of Picking the Perfect Niche for Your Blog. Click on that. It's an ebook that I have written that is a step-by-step kind of tactical guide to picking that right niche. Because picking the right niche isn't just something you're passionate about. It's about something that is extremely profitable. You have to figure out how to monetize it. And we go through all of that in the ebook. But anyways, you guys are seeing here live different examples of different sites, like where they're hosted, things like that. So this is an example of a Rocket Web Builder site. And this is an example of a WordPress site. And some people think like you have to do a lot of work to these sites, and that's not necessarily the case. Like it depends, like I said, on the niche. If I was competing with bodybuilding.com, their niche is fitness, but it's super general. It's super general, and there's no way I could compete. They have hundreds of employees. They make like billions of dollars a year, billions of dollars a year. And there's no way I could compete with that, right? So I pick smaller niches that are much more intricate, much more specific, and things that I can compete on, and I know that I have a market to make money on. And so, like, for example, this website, how can I make money on this? Well, I could put ads on this. I can sell ad space on this. I can promote this site to people who sell their own business books, and they can buy access to my network. They can, access to ad space. They can rent out a page on my website. I could sell affiliate link access. There's so many different things I could get access to generate a certain income from a certain site. But basically what I would say, guys, if you have a website, you want to turn it into kind of like this passion project of yours that you're not just trying to create and then kick off. It's okay in the very beginning. If you have a website, spend 6 months working on it. It's perfectly fine. For me, it doesn't take much any longer because I kind of know the steps, and I've built so many sites now that it's kind of second nature. But I remember the very first website took me a very, very, very long time to build. I had to learn everything. I had to build everything. And it's just all part of the game, I guess. And some of you guys were curious on what I do, and this is exactly what I do. So, like I said, one of the things that make blogging easier for me, and I promise we'll talk about this in other videos, but is AI. Now, AI has been misused, in my opinion, over, since the time that it's really been developing and it's been well known. But if you look at this blog post, a lot of the content in this blog post, believe it or not, was written by AI. And the way that it works is I'll just hit edit post here to kind of show you what I'm talking about, is I have a tool called AI Scribe from Sparkulizer. Now, some of you may have heard of it. Some of you may have heard me talk about it. But basically, it's this tool here that I can generate content off of. This is just one of their functions. Like I said, I'll create a video about this in the future. But if I want to create like paragraph content, I could do that here. I can select the amount of words that I want. I can go to my settings in the application. And where is it here? AI Scribe. I'll just hit the settings button. I can pick as well my temperature, so how creative I want the AI to be. There's a lot of things I could do. I could hit AI Scribe here, and I could use any one of these tools. Like, for example, the write introduction tool, generate paragraphs tool, generate images tool. There's a lot of things I could do here. For me, though, I like to use the article wizard. So right here, this is a really useful tool. And the way it works is I'll take like a certain topic or a title, or topics. I'll fill out stuff like this. I'll give it information. And then I'll just double check like the prompt, everything's fine, and then I'll hit generate. And then what it'll do is it'll create different variations of titles. I'll pick a title, and then it will automatically move me to step 2, right? And step 2, it will fill in those versions of the titles along with, right, everything that I enter here for the second part, which then it will create me outlines based on that. And depending on how many entries I want, which is how many outputs it's going to come up with. So if I type in 3 entries here, it's going to come out 3 different outlines. I pick an outline, and it will go to the paragraphs, and it will start creating paragraphs for me based on those outlines, right? And then once the paragraph content is created, I'll push it to one of the blog posts, right? So I'll go over here, I'll push it to a post, and it will be in the draft phase. And then I'll sit there and I'll start editing it, right? And I'll start adding more content to it. I'll push certain things to it. I'll hit this little AI Scribe button, shorten stuff, make stuff longer, whatever the content might be, whatever the case, I'll work on it. And that's kind of the easiest way for WordPress here to get the job done. Some people fully automate their site and they just don't do any writing whatsoever, and they let AI take over. And I really don't recommend that, because Google looks into your site and it sees if you're adding anything new to the algorithm. And if you're not really adding anything new, there's really no reason for them to rank you. So a lot of people struggle with, who do this, they struggle with being on Google and then disappearing for a little while. And the reason why they're disappearing is Google's testing the site and they see there's really nothing beneficial from the site. There's no value added. So after ranking it for a little bit, they take it down. And that's just the reality with blogging, is if you're not offering new information along with the prerequisite information, you're not really going to go anywhere. And that's why I kind of do like a process where I'm not only using the AI, but I'm also involving myself into the content. And if you guys read some of these blog posts, you can tell, kind of based on my history, my voice, and things like that, you guys can kind of tell what I've written. Especially if you've seen my content, you know how my voice sounds, you know my style, etc. But Whether it's Rocket Web Builder or whether it's WordPress, they both have different functions, different benefits, different features. And I'll leave some links in the description for different hosting sites if you want to use WordPress. I'll leave links in the description to what I use. Rocket Web Builder, you guys probably know I use it by now, but like I said, it's about 80 to 85% of my sites are hosted on there. I have some old hosting plans I never really used, and I'm starting to try to fill up on them and use them for WordPress, but that's pretty much it. That's what it comes down to. So this is kind of my daily life. This is the things that I work on a daily basis. Not necessarily this site, but many sites. Like I said, I have many, and this is just one of them. I wanted to show an example of one. This is a relatively new site, and like I said, it's in its kind of phase 1 kind of status, so I'll improve it over time, but you get a little glimpse of what I do on a daily basis, all right? So hopefully this video was helpful to you, is incitive, is that a word? Inciting? I don't know. Hopefully it was beneficial, basically. Sorry, I have a little bit of a brain fog. It's late here. But I'll talk to you guys later. I'll leave all the resource links in the description, and I'll talk to you guys soon. All right? Peace out. Bye.